Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member Gallego, for this hearing today, General. It's good to see you. Again, we appreciate both of you being here to answer our questions today. I just had my first hearing. I'm a subcommittee chairman on oversight of cyber technology and innovation. And I just had my first hearing on oversight yesterday with Dr. Eric Schmidt on the subject of AI and emerging technologies. And this is a guy who was one of the original folks at Google, original CEO, former CEO. And he said that AI, the advent of AI, what's going to happen is going to transform the world. And it's going to be epic. It's going to happen fast. And in my sense in being here, I'm just over 2 years in now, but it feels like DOD, Pentagon, military, you all are going to have it together better, faster, more before the rest of the federal government. But I have great concerns just at what some of our vulnerabilities may be, both from a defensive and offensive side of things. And so I just wanted to ask, sort of just pick your brain a little bit today, if you can share with us a little bit about SOCON and some of your investments in emerging technology. How do we retain our competitive advantage? What I learned yesterday is that the country of China, the largest nonprofit that's invested in AI in the world is in China. And so I'd just like to hear a little bit from you all, sort of your perspective, just kind of high level, and some of the emerging technologies that you all have seen us invest in, and kind of get your perspective on that too.
So Congresswoman, it's very important. I think we often throw out AI, and there's a lot of different components of this. I'll give you a couple examples, and then I know General Fenton has actually had Eric Schmidt out to the command and can probably talk in even greater detail. But you know, especially as we look at it in the information space, we are not, as a department, despite your hope for us, very fast in that space. And our adversaries use AI to generate things like deep fakes and all kinds of other things that have the benefit of distracting and misleading, and sometimes that's just enough space to be able to do what they want to do. So we have to think about this on the defensive side as much as we think about this on the offensive side. I think some of what we envision using AI for is to reduce some of the delays of human beings in the loop or on the loop. Some of that might be in the information space, but some of that could be in traditional warfighting capabilities or the ability to take in large quantities of data and gain situational awareness. But still, at some point, probably there's going to be a human being that makes a decision, especially as we talk about things that may be lethal or kinetic in that process. So there's an ethics piece of this. There's a functional man-machine interface that's going to have to be worked out. And there's also I think the question of which types of technology do you invest in to actually get the biggest bang for the buck, because if you choose wrongly, you may end up being even further behind. But maybe
yeah. And to your point too, it's not just software, it's hardware too. I mean, there are multiple components. There have to be, yes, human intelligence involved, but General.
Congresswoman, thank you very much for that. I'll go, it hits at the heart of where we're working to transform in our transform priority. We have had a number of meetings with Dr. Schmidt and many of his teammates. And
he's brilliant on this.
Many others in that community. And I would start on a couple fronts. Artificial intelligence and what it brings in terms of the applications. First and foremost for us is about putting those applications over oceans of data that we have in the department. Certainly from our counterterrorism years, but even before that, understanding of locations we've been in previously, all of that. And using those applications to crush that information, synthesize it for us, and get it to us with speed. And in special operations, we had an extra S to that with speed, soft speed, so we can make a decision faster, either for our teammates on the ground or at the mission command nodes. I think the second reason is that decision is important is because it allows us to not only make a decision, but put the effects to be achieved in the right place faster than any adversary. And that could be in the information operations domain, or it could be a kinetic domain, or any number, cyber and space. So I think you will absolutely see us continue to pursue it in that arena. And if folks asked even more, it would be natural language processing and things like picture generation. All of this is important.
It's generative, it's machine learning, it's all these things. It's all encompassing what we're learning. And I apologize for cutting you short, but to piggyback on that, the intersection of government and industry, like how is that going? Is that been more efficient in trying to make those decisions?
Your SOCON team is routinely reaching out to all those, academia, industry. We even go overseas to partners and allies. We just don't look here. So we're in search of that technology with anybody that has it, both to use it and understand how the adversary uses it.
Thank you, General. And Mr. Chairman, I yield back.